Good morning, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Day 2 of Water Transversality Global Awards and Conclave 2024 International Conference on Deciphering Transversality of Water, Energy, Environment Nexus. This morning, we are ready to start the proceedings with Plenary III. This is Energy. We have with us on the days Mr. R.K. Pachnanda, former Chairman, Haryana Electricity Regulatory Commission, Patron and Chairman, Committee on Water, Energy, Food Nexus, IWF. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We warmly welcome Ms. Mikiko Tanaka, Head, South and Southwest Asia Office, UNESCAP. And we shall also be joined by Padma Shri Shailesh Nayak, Director, National Institute of Advanced Studies, though he'll be joining us online. So before we start, a brief introduction to the esteemed speakers who are with us on the days. Dr. R.K. Pachnanda is a distinguished former IPS official with a remarkable career. He formerly served as the chairman of the Haryana Regulatory Electricity Commission. Prior to this role, he was the chairman of the Haryana Public Service Commission and also held the position of Director General of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Currently, he is the patron and chairman of the Committee on Water, Energy, Food Nexus at the India Water Foundation. And we also have with us on the days Ms. Mikiko Tanaka. She is the director and head of ESCAP, Sub-Regional Office for South and Southwest Asia Office, New Delhi. She is holding this since 2022. She brings over 25 years of experience with the United Nations system and most recently served as the United Nations resident coordinator in Guyana and worked with UNDP in Guyana, Yemen, Timor-Leste, Pakistan, Benin, China, Lao PDR, and New York. So a warm welcome to both of you. And I request you both to please take the discussion forward.
Hear me? Is it working? No. Dr. Arvind Kumar, President, India Water Foundation, Mr. Shailesh Nayak, Ms. Mikiko Tanaka, and friends. It's been a privilege to be here today. Well, today's topic is energy. And our Honorable Prime Minister has committed in COP26 to ensure 500 gigabytes of clean green energy by 2030. So I'll just mention today the strides India has taken in being the torchbearer of green energy. India has also been the torchbearer of curbing greenhouse effects. The nation's commitment to the world community is strengthened by our Prime Minister's announcement achieving net zero emissions by 2070, raising India's non-fossil fuel-based energy production to 500 gigawatts, meeting 50% of the country's energy requirements through renewable sources by 2030, reducing carbon intensity by 45%, and reducing carbon emission by 1 billion tons by 2030 from 2021 levels. The UN Emission Gap report has concluded that India is well on its way to achieving the NDC targets with its policies. Very few countries have this stellar achievement. India plans to reduce the emission intensity of GDP by 33% to 35% by 2030 from 205 levels. Hence, India is well positioned to create an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons, besides achieving at least 40% of electric power generation installed capacity from non-fossil fuel energy resources by 2030. The achievements are that carbon emission intensity has reduced by 24% and forest and tree covers has really increased. Climate Action Tracker 2 states that India is the only G20 country whose NDCs are 2% compliant and is poised to achieve the 1.5% goal limit of global warming. The target is to achieve a minimum of 40% cumulative power generation installed capacity from non-fossil fuel energy resources by 2030. India's ambitious initiatives for climate action are renewable targets, land degradation neutrality, the National Hydrogen Mission, self-reliance in energy production by 2047, 100% electrification of Indian railways, net zero by 2070, 20% ethanol blending targets have been advanced to 2025, and 5,000 compressed biogas gas plants to be achieved. The FAME-2 scheme launched in 2019 to be executed, and promoting key sectors with a strong backward and forward linkage. Our government has taken several measures to increase the proportion of renewable energy in the energy mix, including firing torrefied biomass pellets in thermal power generating plants, to encourage innovation, to provide concessional financing of solar projects, higher norms for renewable purchase obligations, permitting foreign direct investment up to 100%, waiver of interstate transmission system charges on solar and wind projects, framework for renewable energy certificates, special dispensation for wind and solar generations in the deviation settlement mechanisms. Given the commitment to sustainability, fintech, both from within the country and by way of foreign direct investment, is of crucial importance, including large-scale deployment of renewable asset management software tools and artificial intelligence. Our Prime Minister has encouraged an investor-friendly policy in infrastructure, including the power sector. The energy transition from predominantly coal-fired electricity generation to hydropower, as well as non-fossil fuel power, would itself create the requirements for scaling up investments in generation, transmission and distribution of power, and added employment opportunities. India's contribution to global emissions has been improving. India has actually utilized just 1.3% of the total carbon space, and India's utilization in terms of per capita global carbon space would be about 17.5%. Logically, 700 gigatons of the 2% of global warming. The world community has shown faith in India's resolve. India has a well-established and independent regulatory framework with vibrant and dependable capital markets, a robust banking system, skilled workforce, and a large consumer base. Hence, the Indian economy, given its inherent resilience and strength, will continue to soar, and today it's one of the fastest growing economies of the world. And in the words of the IMF and the World Bank, a bright spot on this otherwise dark horizon, quote unquote. Addressing a joint sitting of both houses of parliament, our Honorable President of India stated that India, with a stable, fearless and decisive government at the helm, was emerging as a global provider, and every citizen's confidence was peaking. Top leaders of the world have been praising India's growth and have observed that India is undeniably a global powerhouse. To conclude, for India, energy transition will be the most important pillar for climate action for the country, and for this we are rapidly crafting a sturdy ecosystem to enable the transformation through technology readiness, capacity upgrade, climate finance, regulatory reforms, and new and innovative business models, which will together help and sieve in achieving India's climate and sustainable development goals. Our Prime Minister's initiative of the International Solar Alliance, in line with the concept of one sun, one earth, one grid, shall definitely usher a new dawn for all nations. And India is therefore truly a torchbearer in this field. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pachnanda, and also Sri Shailesh Nayak online, I think. Good morning to all of you here in the room and also online. So to follow or build on Mr. Pachnanda's intervention that centered around India's achievements and efforts, just like to maybe spread it out to regional, maybe global perspectives. And I thought, so the conference that we are part of is this, trying to decipher this transversality of the water, energy, and environment nexus. And this session focuses into that energy part, so energy-water nexus. And just after this, I'm moderating a very interesting panel discussion on interdisciplinary approaches for achieving energy and water sustainability. So I thought I'd, use that subject to maybe illustrate, the importance, urgency, and also the complexity of balancing this energy and water security or sustainability, as an example. So achieving energy and water sustainability requires interdisciplinary approaches due to the diverse socioeconomic conditions, climate challenges, and geographic complexities of wherever it is at the country level, regional level, global, whole global context. The interconnectedness of water and energy resources alongside population growth, urbanization, and climate change makes it critical to explore solutions that cut across multiple disciplines, including engineering, environmental science, economics, social, and policy making. So want to flag like 5 areas or entry points in this interdisciplinary approach to achieve this balance between energy and water sustainability. One is integrated resource management. So our region's energy and water sectors are deeply intertwined, and adopting an integrated resource management approach is essential. Water is required for energy generation in hydropower plants, cooling in thermal power stations, and bioenergy production. Similarly, energy is crucial for water extraction, treatment, and distribution. A siloed approach to managing these resources leads to inefficiencies, exacerbating resource shortages. Cross-sectoral coordination between energy, agriculture, industry, water management authorities, and others is absolutely necessary to ensure that decisions in one sector do not negatively impact the others. The second area is technological innovation and renewable energy. So technological innovation plays a pivotal role in addressing water and energy and water sustainability. There is vast potential for renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and geothermal energy. These technologies can reduce reliance on water-intensive forms of energy, such as coal-fired thermal power plants, which use an enormous amount of water. Smart grids, which enable more energy-efficient distribution, and advanced water monitoring systems that detect leaks and improve water efficiency, are other technological advancements that can support the region's sustainability goals. Third area would be climate resilience and ecosystem management. Our region is highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including droughts, floods, and extreme weather events. Climate-resilient infrastructure is therefore essential for achieving long-term water and energy sustainability. For example, building multi-purpose dams and reservoirs that balance water storage, flood control, and hydropower generation can provide more consistent access to water and energy while protecting ecosystems. Sustainable farming practices such as rainwater harvesting and drip irrigation can also help conserve water resources while maintaining agricultural productivity. Mangrove restoration and afforestation projects can enhance ecosystem resilience, protecting water resources and reducing the impact of extreme weather on energy and water infrastructure and livelihoods, I would add. Then we have policy and governance, which is very important. Effective policy frameworks are key to managing the complex relationship between energy and water resources. Governments need to develop policies that promote the sustainable use of these resources through an integrated approach. Regulatory frameworks should incentivize the adoption of renewable energy technologies and water-efficient practices. Governance structures need to facilitate collaboration between different sectors and stakeholders, including local communities, who are often the most affected by water and energy shortages. Equitable access to resources must be a priority in policymaking. Marginalized and rural communities are often the hardest hit by energy and water insecurity, and their needs should be addressed through inclusive decision-making processes. Governments should also invest in capacity building and public awareness campaigns to foster understanding and participation in sustainable water and energy management. Then lastly is regional cooperation, which is dear to our hearts at ESCAP. Given the transboundary nature of many water and energy resources, regional cooperation is critical. Shared rivers, such as the Indus, Ganges, and Brahmaputra, are lifelines for multiple countries in our region. However, competing demands often lead to conflicts over resource allocation. Regional dialogues and agreements that promote the sharing of resources, data, and technology can help mitigate these tensions and improve overall resource management. Collaborative projects in renewable energy development and climate adaptation strategies can further strengthen the region's resilience to water and energy challenges. So in conclusion, achieving energy and water security and sustainability requires a multidisciplinary and cross-sectoral approach. By integrating technological innovation, climate resilience, governance, and regional cooperation, the region can develop sustainable solutions to address its pressing resource challenges. This holistic approach not only ensures the efficient use of water and energy, but also promotes long-term environmental sustainability and socio-economic development. I hope you can join our panel session after this, because we have a really interesting panel of amazing experts, specialists in this area that can share many examples, perspectives from this region, but also outside too. So please stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Tanaka. Well, we are now ready to be joined by Padma Shri Shailesh Nayak, Director of the National Institute of Advanced Studies. He's also previously served as the Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. So a very warm welcome to you, sir. Very good morning. It's over to you. Dr. Nayak, I think you're on mute. You need to, yes.
Not working yet.
I'm afraid we still can't hear you. I think there is some problem with the microphone at your end. Can you hear me?
Can you hear now?
Still very low voice. Can you increase the volume at your end?
Online you can hear you. You can hear? Online you can hear, right? Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, so I think the problem maybe is somewhere else, but my thing is okay.
Okay. I believe we are unable to get the audio from Dr. Nayak's end. Join us in the next session. Okay. So we could not hear him. We really apologize for that, some system glitch. So I'd request you both, would you like to make any closing comments before we close the session?
So we look forward to our next panel discussion.
Sure. And this was our plenary session 3, which is entitled Energy. So we'd like to thank both of our esteemed speakers, Dr. R.K. Pachnanda, as well as Mr. Naka. May I request you to kindly please take your... May I request Dr. Arvind Kumar to please join us on stage to kindly present mementos to the esteemed speakers as a token of our appreciation and thanks. We thank Mr. R.K. Pachnanda. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Janaka.